Hey guys, I'm Kate Simsley and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm so glad you found us, and if you've been here before, welcome back in. So did you know that the shotgun is a popular, easy to spot house style that's become synonymous with the New Orleans and southern United States? Or did you know that that's not its true origin? During today's video, I thought it might be fun to discuss the unique history of this popular architectural style and touch on some interesting details of the area in which it's most commonly found today. I want to just make a note that for today's video, I will be using a script, and that's something I've never done before. So it might sound a bit robotic, but I'm going to try really hard to avoid sounding like I'm reading, and hopefully it won't be too bad for you to listen to. Honestly, I probably won't even stick to the script really, like not word for word anyway, but I do need it for the notes that I made about the architectural style and the history of the area, as I want to try and at least be somewhat accurate in what I'm saying to you. Before I get started and dive into the architectural history of the shotgun style, I guess I should tell you a bit about this build. So today we're creating 3 shotgun style homes. All of these homes are identical on the outside. Although each is painted a different color, one of the houses is blue, one is yellow, and one is red. Despite their identical exteriors, however, inside the houses are not the same, and each will have its own unique style, personality, and a little bit of a backstory. I didn't get really into it. The layouts of these homes are identical, and each is very similar. I assure you that they will have distinct differences that you will see. For example, while all 3 are technically like 2-bedroom houses with 1 bathroom, the bathrooms are not the same at all. You do only see 1 bathroom. I cut out the other 2 because I know a lot of people don't like watching people create bathrooms. But if you love bathrooms, don't worry. You do get to see them in the screenshots. I made sure that there are pictures of each of them, and I did label which house is which in the screenshots so that you're aware of which one you're looking at. The way that I did this, in one house, one of the bedrooms is set up as an office or like a guest room. It could be both or one or the other. The other house has room for a child or teen, with the second bedroom being for the parents. And finally, the last house is 2 bedrooms and each has a single bed in the room. When it comes to the last one with the single beds, I was thinking that it could be for 2 college students, or maybe roommates or something like that. I didn't put too much thought into it. I just know that they're younger, maybe college age, or maybe like older teen years or something. It is kind of laid out for that. All of these houses are pretty similar, and there is not a lot of clutter in any of them except in the bathrooms and kitchen, but it's more like livable clutter and bare necessities like towels, dish racks, utensils, and stuff like that. They're pretty basic though, because obviously I didn't know who would be living in them, because I don't know who's in your game. If you wanted to download this, I have no idea who you're playing with, and so I did try to keep them pretty basic for that reason. But I did have a lot of fun creating these houses, and hopefully you will like them as much as I do. Before we begin, I just want to be clear and say that I am absolutely not an expert on architecture in any way, shape, or form, and in fact, I literally know nothing about it. I was inspired to create this build after reading a random article about the history of New Orleans, and that kind of just set me on a tangent because it was actually super interesting. I will share some of what I learned with you in this voiceover, and if I have time at the end of it, I will give you some fun facts about the area, but none of it is going to be comprehensive, and I honestly don't know how accurate I'll be. I could be wrong, because I've never been to anywhere in Louisiana, New Orleans, down south. Never been anywhere there. But it is always fascinating to me, and they have fantastic food, and great architecture. Lastly, if you end up enjoying this video, do me a favor and take a second to smash the like button. It helps the algorithm, and it honestly just makes me happy, and it lets me know that I'm on the right track with my content. Finally, I am losing my voice, so if this sounds crazy and I have to pause and stuff, I apologize. But yeah, I'm doing my best. With that said, let's get into the history of the shotgun architecture and talk about its origins in the United States and beyond. So, in my research for this video, I discovered that many people in the architectural world believe that the simplistic design of the shotgun is what has allowed it to not only survive, but thrive throughout the United States. More specifically in New Orleans, Louisiana area, where these houses are a treasured historical aspect of the South. However, the shotgun style, well synonymous with the South, actually did not originate in New Orleans, and the simple design of this popular home was actually found throughout the Caribbean and even in Haiti. Although it can be said that the emergence of the shotgun-style house in New Orleans beginning in the early 1800s plays a significant role in its popularity today. However, shotguns thrived in New Orleans and are a big part of Southern charm that we all know and love. But why? Well, to understand the history of the shotgun, you kinda need to understand the history of the area. I'm not going to get into too much detail here, but I will need to give you a brief overview and some history so you can understand the popularity of the shotgun and how it came to be. New Orleans is a very interesting place. It's rich in history and culture, and it's famous for so many things, including shotgun houses, obviously, and Mardi Gras, which everybody seems to know it for. This gem of the South played a big role in early American history, but I'll spare you much of the gruesome details. New Orleans was founded by the French, ruled by the Spanish, and eventually bought by the United States. The road to current day was long and complex. In fact, significant battles in the War of 1812 and the Civil War were fought over the city of New Orleans, making it a central character in the shaping of this nation. Despite its victories and deep-rooted violence, not everything about New Orleans is as fun or as happy as its Mardi Gras festival, unfortunately. In fact, over the past 100-plus years, the area has faced key social struggles with poverty and racial strife, as well as numerous natural disasters such as hurricanes, floods, and slowly sinking land, to be honest. While we won't be able to talk about all of it, some of these factors are significantly important in the fame of the shotgun and the area in which they are prominent. The first known residents of New Orleans were Native Americans of the Woodland and Mississippi cultures, and for a long time these groups were able to happily and peacefully live in the area, with very few white settlers interfering with their lives. However, in 1722, Jean-Baptiste Le Moyne, I believe it said, the governor of French Louisiana, founded the city. He named it Nouvelle Orleans. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, I'm not French. But tragically, the first year of the city's creation set a precedent for the people of New Orleans that continues even today. Almost immediately after its inception, the newly found city was nearly destroyed by a hurricane. However, with the southern resilience we have come to know and love, New Orleans rebuilt and forged on. In the early 1760s, France, which held controlling power of the area, decided to turn that power over to Spain. Well, today this would shock us. It was a time of change around the world, and thus New Orleans just happily lived as a Spanish city for more than 40 years. During this period, New Orleans traded heavily with Cuba and Mexico, and even adopted Spanish radical rules that allowed for the growth of a class of free people of color, something that was sadly rare in those days. Despite its accepting approach to race, however, the city still had to unfortunately cope with some major, unrelated obstacles. In 1788 to 94, devastating fires ravaged New Orleans, leaving very few structures standing. Following these fires, significant changes were made to building codes, and the city once again rebuilt, this time using brick and mortar, where the houses used to be simple wooden homes. Some brick buildings and cathedrals of that time, the rebuild, are still standing strong in New Orleans even today. Sadly, the idea of brick and mortar homes for everything was not an achievable goal. Despite changes to building codes and a desire to have strong brick structures across the area, the need for wooden houses was undeniable. Wooden houses, while not as sturdy, were significantly cheaper to build than brick homes, a key factor in the popularity of the shotgun. It's important to understand that in Louisiana, shotgun houses increased with the influx of refugees from St. Dominguez. St. Dominguez, I think, or Domingue. It's now known as Haiti, like modern-day Haiti. The immigrants that sought refuge in the United States following the Haitian Revolution aimed to settle in the area, often lacking the money they needed to do so. Being familiar with the design, because it did originate in the Caribbean and West Africa and Haiti, immigrants, especially Haitians, would go on to build many of the shotgun homes that are found in the area of Louisiana. Thus, despite the need for brick homes, the costs were simply too high for many of the immigrant residents. Still, there was great concern because small lots combined with matchstick wood houses certainly posed a risk. Recalling the devastating fires of the past, people were obviously fearful that history would repeat itself if they weren't careful. However, to solve this dilemma and fulfill the demand for affordable housing, the government would once again introduce new building codes. However, these building codes were a little more positive, as they sought to allow the construction of wooden houses by requiring ample space between each structure. The shotgun worked perfectly to fit with these new codes, and they mitigated fire risks, allowing for affordable housing to be built. Shotguns, as a style, are not large homes. In fact, they're sometimes referred to as the original tiny home. These long, narrow houses were often built on equally narrow lots, with the homes themselves often being less than 12 feet wide, and they were generally built on lots that were less than 30 feet wide. So there was plenty of space between each home to stop the spread of fire. Some believe that the name shotgun was a nod to the layout of the structure. Many of these homes would be built with a front and rear door that were perfectly aligned. So you could essentially fire a gun and the bullet would go through the front and out the back without hindrance, provided there was no furniture or people in the way. However, it is unknown how true this origin is. No one really knows if that's how it came about. And the true origin obviously remains an ongoing debate in the architectural community, but that is thought to be how the name was derived. Regardless, by the 1830s, shotgun-style dwellings were regularly utilized for factory, farm, and railroad workers, as well as those who wanted to own a home without extravagant costs. The shotgun house usually had 2 to 3 bedrooms, with some having as many as 4. But no matter the size, the bedrooms were always aligned, one after the other in a row. Along with allowing a bullet to pass through freely, the aligned front and back door also meant a cross breeze could freely move through the house, a much needed trait in the Louisiana heat. Beyond the South, the shotgun style continued to thrive and spread across the country, with variations on the design popping up all over the world, especially in the United States. By the 1900s, the shotgun home was a popular sight in carpenters' pattern books. Later being replaced by the California bungalow or the craftsman, the shotgun-style home was simple and inexpensive to build, meaning if you were even remotely handy, it would not be difficult to construct a house of this style, and many people did. Plenty of these shotgun homes across Louisiana were constructed by people using their own 2 hands and their own tools. However, if you were not skilled, but you still desired a house, you could acquire a shotgun home no problem, because in the 19th century, manufacturers began to create prefab shotgun homes and shipped house kits up the Mississippi River. Due to this, the shotgun style spread like wildfire, no pun intended. While we often think of the shotgun as Southern and see the style as synonymous with New Orleans, in reality shotguns or variations of them can be found from Texas to the east of the Rockies and from the Midwest to the Atlantic coast and beyond. They are literally spread across the United States. The shotgun house is a long, narrow house that is often clad with wood and painted in vibrant colors. Commonly seen in blue, green, yellow, red, teal, these quaint, colorful homes are a beloved symbol of the southern United States. They are often adorned with large covered porches in which locals sit and gossip while sipping sweet tea. They generally have a large gabled roof, which can vary in height. Some shotguns feature gingerbread-style trim that is very complex and intricately designed, while others are more simplistic, featuring simple white trim that may be thin or thick. It depends. The shotgun is usually raised off the ground, though only slightly. The few feet that these iconic houses are raised is meant to allow unhindered airflow. Again, a positive in Louisiana. Many also believe that it was considered helpful in areas like Louisiana, where the terrain is often damp or swampy. And these areas are also prone to flooding. Sadly, since shotguns are often only a foot or so off the ground, they can only protect residents from very minor floods. This is a lesson that some homeowners are all too well aware of after the infamous Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans in August 2005. Hurricane Katrina was a devastating Category 5 Atlantic hurricane that directly impacted New Orleans and caused substantial damage. The damage was estimated to cost the area around $150 billion. Despite constant public warnings, mandatory evacuations, and even desperate pleas for residents to leave the area, Katrina still claimed more than 1,300 lives during its reign, and the shotgun homes did very little to protect the residents who opted to remain sheltered in place. The floodwaters that preceded and followed Katrina were truly catastrophic. Eventually, more than 80% of the city and surrounding area were submerged underwater for weeks following the storm. At its peak, it is said that Katrina's floodwaters reached over 10 to 15 feet deep in some places. Hurricane Katrina today is still thought by many to be one of the worst disasters New Orleans had seen and the most costly. Although this title of cost would later be shared with Hurricane Harvey, I believe it was. Along with Harvey and Katrina, the area has seen many other disasters, including Hurricane Dennis, Rita, Ike, Ida, Zeta. That's only a few. Like, they get hurricanes all the time. The region is prone to hurricanes and subsequent flooding, and during this event, flaws in engineering of flood protection systems are thought to have attributed and contributed to the devastation that was caused by the flooding. Most shotguns are one-story homes, although there have been adaptations to the design and variations. The Camelback, for example, is a version of the shotgun that has an upper level towards the very back of the house. A variation of this design of Camelback can be seen in the base game house located in Willow Creek on the Riverside Roost lot. Although it's a little bit different, it is the general idea of what a Camelback house looks like. As I said, traditionally, the doors of a shotgun would line up, so the front and back door would be, like, you could literally look through the house. This would help to maximize airflow and allow for cross breeze. But this design feature was also functional as well, creating reduced energy costs and keeping residents cool in the sweltering Louisiana heat. While its layout has morphed and changed dramatically with time, many features remain constant, withstanding the test of time and paying homage to this architectural masterpiece. Now, I wasn't sure if we'd have time, but I will throw in a few fun facts about New Orleans. So in New Orleans, it is illegal to ride on a Mardi Gras float without wearing a mask. Like, you have to have a mask or you can't ride on a float, you will be arrested. New Orleans is famous for many things, including being considered the most haunted city in the United States of America. For example, the LaLaurie Mansion is an allegedly haunted house in the French Quarter of the city that has a very dark past. After the house caught on fire, it is alleged that rescuers discovered dozens of slaves chained to walls and body parts strewn about the floor of a secret attic. That's creepy, but interesting. I don't know, I think we may have to build a haunted New Orleans mansion sometime in the future. It was New Orleans dentist named Levi Spear Armley, I think it is, who invented dental floss. Jazz music was also created in New Orleans and still holds a vibrant place within the city today. While Baton Rouge is the capital of Louisiana now, New Orleans has been named the capital twice throughout history. New Orleans was also one of the only places to be ruled by the French, the Spanish, and the US, so 3 different countries. The very first game of poker took place in New Orleans in the 19th century, using a deck with only 20 cards. St. Louis Cathedral is one of the oldest continuously used cathedrals in the country. Lastly, while the shotgun is often an icon of the area, the architecture of the city's French Quarter is equally stunning. However, interestingly, much of this area was actually influenced by Spanish architecture, but it's called the French Quarter, so that's ironic. Anyway, that is all I have for you on the infamous shotgun style of architecture today. If you enjoyed hearing these historical facts and talking about the topic, give this video a thumbs up, give it a like so I know you enjoyed it, and perhaps we could try some more styles, builds, and knowledge in the future. We're coming close to the end of this video shortly, and I'm sure that you will pop into screenshots anytime now. I know we didn't really talk about the build that much in this video, but I had a ton of fun researching the topic and discussing the buildings and the different historical facts of New Orleans. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so that you know when I upload. And if you like this and have any ideas of house styles, builds, or other things that we can create and learn about, do not hesitate to share them in the comments. Also, I just want to apologize as I've been losing my voice for the past 2 weeks, and I've literally struggled through this voiceover and paused 7 million times, repeated myself 700 times, and I literally cannot do it anymore. I have a bit of a cold as well, so I'm sure this video is probably extra hard to listen to, so I'm really sorry for that. I do really appreciate you being here, and I'm always happy to be able to share my creations and chaotic thoughts with you all. Let me know your thoughts on this video in the comments. Your feedback is always welcome and always appreciated. Finally, as always, you can find me or any of my builds on the gallery by searching the hashtag K8Simsley, and you can also find me on social media that way as well, and I would love to see you wherever you are. But I'm going to go for now, let you watch the screenshots. I'll see you in the next one. Have a simtacular day. Bye!
It's night in the city, and I'm on my way back home. Humming on my favorite ditty, swinging like Natalie Cole. But then out of the blue, who strolls down the boulevard but you? Your place is closer than mine. Why don't we go there and have some more wine? 'Cause life is for living. Let's see where this all might lead. Let's see where this all might lead. Waking up to a brand new day in between your sheets. Breaking up in the best of ways, and I'm back again on the street. Ooh, but then out of the blue, a wind starts blowing in ways so new. A world more exciting than mine is holding up a great big welcoming sign. Life is for living. Let's see where this all might lead. this song, my lead. I've been to the top of Mount Everest. I've sailed the 7 seas. I've shared the stage with all the best. Lot of good it did for me. I've walked the wall of China, walked till my feet were sore. Came home to Carolina and found my love next door. Well, what do you know? I didn't have to travel the world. Yeah, what do you know? To find a brown-eyed man for a blue-eyed girl. What do you know? Somehow all that I've been longing for was found right here next door to me. Well, what do you know? I didn't have to travel the world. Yeah, what do you know? To find a brown-eyed man for a blue-eyed girl. What do you know? Somehow all that I've been longing for was found right here next door to me. I rode that Trans-Siberian, been shipwrecked and watched ashore. Got travel story Shakespearean, still I found my love next door.